Everyone is buying Nvidia. Everyone is buying the chip names. And they are missing the real trade. Here is what most investors do not realize. When you ask ChatGPT a question, that answer travels through an entire physical system, a chip, a server, a data center, a power grid. And every step of that system is owned by a different company. That is the trade. The chip has to be manufactured, and only one company on Earth makes the machines that can print next-generation AI chips. The chip generates enormous heat, and that heat has to be removed by cooling systems that most people have never heard of. The data center has to be physically built by electrical contractors, mechanical engineers, and construction companies. The power has to come from somewhere, and AI data centers are becoming one of the largest electricity consumers on the planet. The data has to move through networking switches, fiber optic cables, and high-density connectors. None of that is Nvidia. None of that is ChatGPT. Today we go through the 20 companies sitting in that stack, what each one does, why AI puts them directly in this trade. Let's go. Here is the frame that matters. AI is not a stock. It is an industrial system, and that system has layers. 7 major tech companies have committed approximately $650 billion in AI infrastructure capital expenditure in 2026, alone, a 71% increase from the prior year. That capital does not just go to Nvidia. It flows through 6 distinct layers of the AI stack. Layer 1, chip manufacturing. Someone has to print the chips. Layer 2, power delivery. Someone has to keep the lights on. Layer 3, cooling. Someone has to keep the chips from melting. Layer 4, construction. Someone has to build the facilities. Layer 5, networking. Someone has to move the data. Layer 6, real estate and energy. Someone has to own the land and generate the power. Each layer has dominant companies. Most of them are not on the average investor's radar. Here are 20 of them. This is the layer Nvidia depends on entirely. Nvidia designs chips. It does not manufacture them. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company is the world's largest contract chip manufacturer. Nvidia, Apple, Advanced Micro Devices, and Qualcomm all manufacture their chips here. No Taiwan Semiconductor, no AI chip. Why AI? AI chips require the most advanced manufacturing nodes in existence, 3 nanometer, 2 nanometer, and below. Taiwan Semiconductor is the only company currently capable of producing these at scale. Every Nvidia Blackwell and Vera Rubin chip is made here. Current numbers revenue growth has accelerated, sharply driven by AI chip demand. Taiwan Semiconductor holds approximately 60% of the global foundry market. AI-related revenue is growing faster than any other segment. The thesis in one line: if AI chips get built, Taiwan Semiconductor gets paid. There is no alternative. ASML makes the extreme ultraviolet lithography machines the only way to print the circuits on next-generation chips. There is one company in the world that makes these machines. ASML is it. Why AI? Without extreme ultraviolet lithography, chip manufacturers cannot produce the advanced nodes that AI requires. ASML's machines are the single most critical piece of equipment in the entire AI supply chain. Every advanced AI chip fab on Earth requires ASML's tools. Current numbers: ASML has a multi-year order backlog as chip manufacturers race to expand advanced node capacity. Each machine costs approximately $200 million. Demand exceeds supply. The thesis in one line: you cannot print an advanced AI chip without ASML's machine. There is no substitute. AI data centers are power problems first. A single hyperscale AI facility can consume as much electricity as a small city. Nvidia's Blackwell chips draw over 1,000 watts each. A rack of these chips requires over 100 kilowatts of power delivery infrastructure. Vertiv makes power management systems, uninterruptible power supplies, and liquid cooling solutions for data centers. They have been in this business for over 60 years. Why AI? Vertiv keeps data centers powered and cooled. Their liquid cooling systems are the leading solution for the heat generated by Blackwell and Vera Rubin class chips. Current numbers up 64% year-to-date in 2026. Join the S&P 500 in March 2026. Backlog hit $15 billion, up 109% year-over-year. New orders climbed 252%. Full year 2025 diluted earnings per share grew 166%. 2026 revenue guidance of $13.3 to $13.7 billion. The thesis in one line: liquid cooling is the new standard for AI chips. Vertiv is the dominant supplier. The backlog is already locked in. Eaton makes electrical components and power management systems, switchgear, circuit breakers, bus bar technology, and power distribution units. Why AI? Eaton has a direct partnership with Nvidia on an 800-volt direct current power architecture optimized for AI workloads. Their busbar technology replaces traditional cables with rigid metal conductors that reduce power loss in high-density AI environments. Current numbers approximately $7 billion in quarterly revenue, 10.6% year-over-year growth. The thesis in one line: every AI data center needs Eaton's electrical backbone to deliver power safely at the scale AI requires. nVent makes thermal management and electrical enclosure solutions for electronic equipment. Why AI as rack densities climb from 10 kilowatts to over 100 kilowatts for AI workloads? nVent's thermal management systems become critical. Entered 2026 with a record backlog of $9.5 billion and a book-to-bill ratio of 1.4 times. Current numbers approximately $963 million in quarterly revenue, up 30% year over year. The thesis in one line: a faster-growing, more focused alternative to Eaton in the thermal and power management space. NextEra Energy is the largest renewable energy company in the United States. They generate and transmit electricity from wind, solar, and natural gas assets. Why AI data centers are becoming one of the largest sources of new electricity demand in the United States. NextEra is positioned as a primary supplier of the large-scale renewable power that hyperscalers are contracting for. Tech companies are signing decade-long power purchase agreements, and NextEra is on the other side of those contracts. The thesis in one line: AI's electricity appetite is growing faster than the grid. NextEra generates the power. Constellation Energy is the largest nuclear power producer in the United States. Why AI nuclear power is the only large-scale, always-on, carbon-free electricity source, exactly what AI data centers need for 24-hour operations. Microsoft signed a 20-year power purchase agreement with Constellation to restart 3 Mile Island, specifically to power AI data centers. Other hyperscalers are following. Current numbers stock has risen sharply on the back of multiple hyperscaler power deals. The thesis in one-line: nuclear is the only power source that satisfies both the scale and the carbon commitments of AI hyperscalers simultaneously. AI data centers do not appear fully formed. Someone builds them. EMCOR is the largest specialty contractor in the United States, providing electrical infrastructure, mechanical systems, cooling systems, and fire protection for large-scale facilities. Why AI? A modern AI data center is a massive electrical grid enclosed in 4 walls. EMCOR engineers and installs the complex switchgear, backup generators, and high-voltage distribution systems inside. Current numbers: data center work is a primary growth driver. Expected 2026 revenue growth of 5.4% and earnings growth of 8.6%. Steady and visible rather than explosive. The thesis in one line: every hyperscale AI facility that gets built runs through electrical contractors like EMCOR. Comfort Systems provides mechanical, electrical, and plumbing services for data centers with a modular construction approach that compresses build schedules. Why AI? In an industry where speed to power is the primary constraint, Comfort Systems' off-site fabrication model allows data center operators to compress timelines significantly. Current numbers: fourth quarter 2025 earnings per share of $9.37, more than double the same quarter a year prior. Management called current demand an industrial supercycle. Record backlog. Full year 2025 was the first time net income and operating cash flow both exceeded $1 billion. The thesis in one line: they build the inside of AI data centers faster than anyone else. Quanta Services is the largest specialty contractor for high-voltage electrical transmission and grid infrastructure in the United States. Why AI data centers need massive grid connections? Quanta builds and upgrades the transmission infrastructure that delivers power from the source to the facility. Current numbers: backlog of $39.2 billion. Expected 2026 earnings per share growth of 17.2%. The thesis in one line: AI data centers need power from the grid. Quanta builds the grid connection. Sterling Infrastructure provides site development, concrete, and foundational infrastructure services for data centers. Why AI? Sterling's data center revenues surged 125% year over year in the third quarter of 2025. They handle the site preparation and foundational work before the electrical contractors arrive. The thesis in one line: the company that prepares the land and foundation before a data center gets built. An AI cluster is not just chips and cooling. Moving data between thousands of GPUs at extreme speed requires networking infrastructure. Arista makes the high-speed Ethernet switches that connect GPUs inside AI data centers. Why AI? As AI workloads push networking speeds from 400 gigabits per second to 800 gigabits per second and beyond, every data center needs to upgrade its switching infrastructure. Arista has surpassed Cisco in market share for high-speed data center switching. Current numbers: full year 2025 revenue of $9.01 billion, up 28.6%. Operating margin of 47.5%. 2026 AI revenue target raised to $3.25 billion. 2026 growth guidance upgraded to 25%. The thesis in one-line: AI clusters need high-speed networking. Arista is the dominant supplier. Amphenol makes the connectors, fiber optic cables, and high-density interconnect solutions that physically link components inside data centers. Why AI? Amphenol holds an estimated 33% market share in AI data center interconnects. Everything inside an AI data center is connected by cables and connectors. Amphenol makes the dominant share of them. Current numbers: expected 2026 revenue growth of 34.9% and earnings growth of 29.3%. The thesis in one line: every connection inside an AI data center runs through Amphenol's products. Coherent makes optical components and transceivers, the physical hardware that converts electrical signals and light for high-speed data transmission over fiber. Why AI? As AI cluster sizes grow, the distance between compute nodes increases and copper cables cannot carry signals fast enough. Optical interconnects using Coherent's transceivers are the solution. Every large-scale AI cluster transition to optical networking drives Coherent's volume. The thesis in one line: large AI clusters require optical interconnects. Coherent makes the transceivers. Fabrinet provides precision manufacturing for optical networking components used in data centers. Why AI? Fabrinet manufactures the optical transceivers and modules that enable high-speed data transmission at scale. As AI cluster networking upgrades from copper to optical, Fabrinet's manufacturing volume grows with it. The thesis in one line: the manufacturing partner behind the optical components that connect AI infrastructure. Equinix is the world's largest data center real estate investment trust. They own and operate interconnection facilities globally. Why AI? Every hyperscaler building AI capacity needs physical data center space. Equinix is pivoting to expand X-scale capacity large-scale facilities designed specifically for hyperscaler AI workloads. The thesis in one line: AI needs a physical home. Equinix owns the premium real estate. Digital Realty is the second largest data center real estate investment trust globally. Why AI? Digital Realty is expanding capacity across North America, Europe, and Asia to meet AI-driven data center demand. They provide the physical infrastructure that hyperscalers lease for their AI compute clusters. The thesis in one line: as AI data center demand grows, so does demand for the real estate that houses it. Western Digital makes hard disk drives and solid-state drives for data center storage. Why AI? AI training and inference requires storing enormous data sets. Western Digital is seeing strong data center demand driven by AI workloads. High-capacity hard disk drives are seeing renewed demand as AI storage requirements grow. The thesis in one line: AI requires massive data storage. Western Digital is the leading provider. Modine makes thermal management and heat exchanger solutions for data center cooling. Why AI? As rack densities increase, the thermal management requirements shift from air to liquid. Modine's Climate Solutions segment is directly exposed to this transition. The thesis in one line: a smaller, higher beta play on the liquid cooling transition in AI data centers. Every company on this list carries the same underlying risk. AI capital expenditure is cyclical. If Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta slow their data center spending, every layer of this stack slows with it. The backlogs are large but not infinite. Power availability risk. The biggest constraint on new AI data center construction is not money or materials, it is grid access. In many markets, the utility queue runs 4 to 6 years. Valuation risk: Vertiv is up 64% year to date. Comfort Systems has more than doubled. Companies priced for perfection have less margin for error. Geopolitical risk: Taiwan Semiconductor and ASML are both highly exposed to United States-China trade restrictions. Any escalation in semiconductor export controls could disrupt their order flow. Here is the one sentence that captures this. Most investors are buying the chip. The real money is in everything around it. Layer 1 chip manufacturing: Taiwan Semiconductor. ASML. Layer 2 power delivery: Vertiv, Eaton, nVent, NextEra, Constellation. Layer 3 construction: EMCOR. Comfort Systems. Quanta, Sterling. Layer 4 networking: Arista, Amphenol, Coherent, Fabrinet. Layer 5 real estate and storage: Equinix. Digital Realty, Western Digital, Modine. ChatGPT is the product. Nvidia makes the chip. But AI does not work without everything in between. That stack the infrastructure, the power, the cooling, the construction, the networking, that is where $650 billion is flowing in 2026. Most investors are still looking at the chip. The market already knows that trade. The next layer, that is where the capital is moving now. One more layer we did not cover today: memory. High bandwidth memory. The memory that makes AI chips actually work is its own trade entirely. That breakdown is in a separate video on this channel. Link is in the description. If this breakdown was useful, hit like it genuinely helps the channel. Drop any stocks or topics you want covered next in the comments. I read them all. Subscribe and hit the bell. The next video covers whether the AI infrastructure build-out is accelerating or whether the first signs of a slowdown are already visible in the data. You don't want to miss that one. See where to cross it. This is market commentary and historical data analysis only, not a buy or sell recommendation. All investment decisions are your own responsibility.